again, everybody, it's me, Moody Boo, and I'm back with another perfume that I bought at Ala Moana Shopping Center at Honolulu on Oahu when I was on vacation. And this one is Precious Oud by Cleef Arpels. And you can see I have already put a hella dent in it. I wore it quite a bit on vacation. Between that and Blanche Immortelle and Cinecouch, that was pretty much, I mean, I think I wore I tested a couple of samples that I brought, but I didn't even touch the decants that I brought. Not once I got Blanche and Precious here. So anyway, Cleef Arpels, I have another of their, I think it's called Collection Extraordinaire from Cleef Arpels, and I also have Bois d'Iris. I don't know, that's kind of close, I think. Bois d'Iris, which smells very much like Bois d'Argent by Dior, and I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison video because they remind me a lot of each other, but I think I like Bois d'Iris by Cleef Arpels a little better than Bois d'Argent. But that's just me. And we're not talking about that one, so who cares? We're talking about Precious Oud. Love, 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 love. Anyway, Linda, the SA at Neiman Marcus, was so patient with me. I mean, I just was in a sniff nirvana. I was just sniffing everything I could and carrying around coffee beans and having a blast. And once I sniffed this one, I just said, okay, put that one to the side. We're getting that one faux show. So this one, so beautiful. Now, people have said that there's a similarity between Black Orchid by Tom Ford and this one, and I do see that, but I actually like this one better. I think the Tom Ford Black Orchid is a little sweeter to me, and it's got that dense kind of synthetic designer feel to it, whereas this feels much lighter, much more ethereal, but still has good performance. So it doesn't have the performance of Black Orchid, but I find it a little more user-friendly than Black Orchid, even though I love Black Orchid. But my BFF, she wore it, she loved it, so I had to give that scent to her, and I haven't worn it since. It's been her signature scent for years now. So anyway, this is, I believe, this came out in 2011. This says it's for women, but I call total BS on that. I think this is completely unisex, as much as Black Orchid is. So this might be a little more feminine than Black Orchid, actually, only because it is a slightly lighter, a little more, there's almost a little more floral in there to me than the Black Orchid. Even though it says Black Orchid and this says Precious Oud, this is not heavy in the oud. So if you're afraid of the oud note, and I know a lot of people are, you should still try this because I find it to be very much in the background. Well, let me tell you the notes. It starts off with bergamot and pink pepper, then the jasmine and tuberose and incense come in, and then it has woody accords of patchouli, oud, vetiver, and sandalwood along with amber. And honestly, you do get all of that, well, most of it. I smell, once it dries down, it gets sweeter. I think that's due to the jasmine and the tuberose. I think that's what makes it sweeter. And then the oud and the patchouli and the sandalwood kind of make an appearance without being overpowering. They're just lightly in the background. They're like background singers for the more floral notes, in my opinion. I don't have any on, actually. So anyway, the Precious Oud I find to be almost a gourmandy kind of oud. If you've ever tried Micheloff's Oud Gourmand, even though gourmand is in the title, I don't find it a very foodie kind of a perfume. This one I think is much more of a gourmand kind of oud than Oud Gourmand by Micallef. This is just beautiful. Oh man, I really love this stuff. As evidenced by, you know, how much has already gone out of this thing. I just can't even believe I used that much. I'm going to have to get a big bottle of this. But they didn't have any of the big bottles at the time, otherwise I would have. So, and people are all over the place with the performance, the longevity. Most people say it's long-lasting and very long-lasting. And the sillage is all over. It's soft, moderate, heavy, and enormous. I find it to be moderate in its sillage and moderate to long-lasting in its longevity. It's something you really should get your nose on, especially if you like Black Orchid by Tom Ford, but find it a little too pungent. I think this is a really good substitute for that. And they're fairly affordable. I mean, they're kind of on the spendy side, but when you're talking about more of the exclusive perfumes, because a lot of your designer houses are now putting out exclusive perfumes, you know, spendy, and especially when you have oud as an ingredient, that's going to hike the price up a little bit, even though this one is no more expensive than any of the others in the line. But I love these. I am so in love with Van Cleef and Arpels. They're collection extraordinaire. It's just amazing. I haven't smelled one that I've disliked. I've just smelled a couple that I was like, may need to test that some more before I make a decision on it. But the three that I have, I fell in love with Vanille Orchid, Bois d'Iris, and this Precious Oud was immediate love. And that doesn't happen to me very often. That probably happens to me about 1 out of every 12 to 15 samples that I sniff. Usually one of those will be a love at first sniff, a bottle I have to get. But a lot of times out of that 12 or 15, I may end up buying 2 or 3 full bottles, but at least 1 or 2 of those are going to be because it was a slow burn kind of love. I wore it over and over again and realized I really loved it. Whereas these, it was bing! Immediate! Woohoo! I gotta think you could wear this. I wore it nighttime, daytime, it didn't matter. It's very versatile. I would totally wear this to work. I would not wear it to work out. But Black Orchid, I think, is more nighttime, going out kind of a perfume, not something you would wear during the day necessarily. But this one, it's much more versatile, I think. And I think if you love Black Orchid, you're really going to love this one. More higher quality of notes than the Black Orchid, in my humble opinion. So anyway, that's Precious Oud by Van Cleef and Arpels. If you try it, please let me know, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe if you want to. I'd love it. I'd love for us to chat some more down the road. So anyway, if you want to leave a comment, I'd love that too, and I'll see you soon. All right, peace.